It was February 1959. 9 experienced hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, set out into the icy, unforgiving wilderness of the Ural Mountains in Russia. The cold was beyond anything they'd ever faced before, a biting, relentless chill that pierced through their clothing and into their bones. Yet, they were prepared. Seasoned in mountaineering and survival, they thought they could conquer the harshness of the land. But none of them knew that their journey would end in a strange, horrifying mystery that still haunts the world to this very day: the Dyatlov Pass. The group was a mix of university students and graduates, all highly skilled in mountaineering. Their expedition was meant to be a routine challenge, one that they would conquer, as they had so many times before. They had set their sights on the summit of Otter 10, a peak known for its treacherous conditions. With a clear plan, ample supplies, and a strong sense of purpose, they began their trek with confidence, never imagining that something far beyond their experience would soon take over. But on February 26th, the last radio communication from their camp came in. And then, silence. As days passed without any word from the hikers, a search party was sent. What they would find would defy logic, reason, and understanding. The first clue was their tent, found half buried in snow, abandoned, and eerily slashed open from the inside. But why would they cut their way out of the tent in the dead of night, in freezing temperatures, without their boots, coats, or even gloves? The tent was slashed with precision, as though they were in a state of panic, perhaps fleeing from something unseen. Footprints were found leading away from the tent, barefoot in the thick, heavy snow. The trail led them toward the dark forest, and then it stopped. No other footprints were found, and the mystery deepened. Where had they gone? What made them leave their shelter behind in such a hurry? The search party soon discovered the first bodies. 2 hikers, barefoot and frozen, their feet encased in solid ice, as though they had been walking in a trance, unaware of their impending death. But what they discovered next would send chills down anyone's spine. One of the hikers was found with a massive skull fracture, a blow so violent it seemed impossible to have come from any natural cause. Another was missing their eyes entirely, and yet there were no signs of a struggle, no traces of wild animals. The bodies were arranged in unnatural positions, as though they had been carefully placed. But by whom? What had happened to these once lively, fearless young people? As the investigation continued, more bodies were discovered, each one revealing more horror than the last. One of the women, Lyudmila Dubinina, was found with her tongue and eyes missing, along with some internal organs, violence that seemed almost ritualistic. How could such brutality take place in the remote wilderness, with no signs of anyone else being involved? And then, the most chilling detail surfaced: radiation. Traces of radiation were found on the hikers' clothing. How could this be? What could cause such a thing in the middle of the Russian wilderness? The injuries were inconsistent with any known animal attack or natural disaster. Something far more sinister was at play. But what? As investigators struggled to make sense of the horrors before them, theories began to emerge. Some suggested it was the work of a Yeti, the legendary creature that has long been said to haunt the remote mountains of Russia. Others believed that an avalanche was responsible for the deaths, but there was one glaring problem: the injuries didn't match any known avalanche pattern. One theory, perhaps the most unsettling of all, suggested that the hikers had stumbled upon a secret Soviet military test site. If this were true, then why was it all so carefully covered up? Why were there no official explanations? What did the government know, and why was it hidden for so long? But what if the truth was far darker than any human explanation could provide? The Dyatlov Pass is notorious for strange occurrences, mysterious lights in the sky, sounds that echo through the mountains, and whispers of ancient spirits that roam the land. Some have suggested that the hikers were victims of a curse, perhaps the wrath of vengeful spirits who haunt the Ural Mountains. Imagine the terror of the hikers as they realized they were being stalked by an unseen force, something beyond their comprehension. Whatever it was, it followed them, watched them, and hunted them in the dark wilderness. It was inescapable, unstoppable, and it knew no mercy. But what if one of the hikers had managed to survive longer than the others? There are accounts of one hiker, bloodied and freezing, crawling back toward the tent. He made it to the site, only to find it completely abandoned. No trace of his companions, nothing but the cold, unfeeling mountains around him. What did he see in the mountains that terrified him so deeply? What drove him to abandon his comrades in the face of certain death? The Dyatlov Pass remains one of the most perplexing and chilling mysteries in history. No one truly knows what happened to those brave hikers. Were they victims of an unknown enemy, a dangerous force, or did they encounter something far worse, something far beyond their understanding? There are more questions than answers, but one thing is certain. Whatever took their lives is still out there, lurking in the snow, waiting for the next unsuspecting traveler to fall victim to its dark power. And so, the Dyatlov Pass remains an unsolved mystery, a reminder that there are some things we simply cannot explain. As you sit safe at home, consider this. What happened to those hikers could happen to anyone. What do you think happened? Was it supernatural? Or something darker, something human? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and share your theories. But remember, if you ever find yourself lost in the mountains, always beware the things that can't be explained, the things that watch from the shadows waiting.